back with you now. The guy with the scooter, I wonder what he's doing. See, when I get pretty areas like this, and I got something on my mind, I want to vlog about it, just goes whoop. I'm saying, I'm enjoying this too much to talk. And I really redid this video because, like I said, the one that I posted, I didn't know that the firmware update had screwed over my microphone. So if you say, hey, I just saw this, well, you're seeing it with some sound now other than the wind blowing down your throat. Just so beautiful. I can't stand it. You get in stuff like this and you just want to ride forever. But I can tell by my trip meter, I've got about 10 more miles to ride before I got to start thinking of gas. Here's a topic that I had thought of a couple of weeks ago, and that was actually on the video that you had no audio to. Just want to know how many of you have had close encounters with the four-legged variety of creatures that roam in our woods and off the sides of our highways. Raise your hands. That's what I thought. Probably most of you, unless you live in the deep city. And that doesn't really matter because I lived in the city and had dogs and cats and mice and rats and other four-legged creatures that run out in front of me and cause me grief. So, if you have had that, have you ever hit a four-legged creature like a deer or a dog? And if you had, what was the outcome? And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I haven't hit any deer with my bike yet, but I've come really close. I told you I needed a little bit of this. I've come really close. I've had them run out in front of me. Scared the bejesus out of me. I've actually done the panic stop, trying to avoid the turkey running out in front of me, wild turkey. I have run over a dog. Didn't go underneath my wheels, but he got to my front wheel and his head hit it, then hit me in the leg and ankle, and it felt like somebody just hit me with a baseball bat. And the little creature did not make it. Actually, it wasn't a little creature, it was a German Shepherd. The little big creature with the big teeth did not make it. But I can tell you, when you do have an accident like that, or a close call, jeez, it seems like for 2 months, everywhere I ride, you know, I'm looking to the side. Is there going to be a dog, a cat run out in front of me? You know, it just stays with you for a while. And I'm one of them kind of guys that it stays with me probably longer than most. As you get a little age on you, believe me, your mortality starts to become a reality. And you just realize, even more than when you were young, just how precious every day is that God gives you. And I make it a point when I leave home, if the better half's not with me, to kiss her goodbye and tell her I love her. I don't do it all the time, I'll admit that. There's a cemetery where Walter Cronkite's buried, just to let you know. I don't do it all the time. I try to do it all the time. Sometimes it does slip my mind and I'm on my bike. And I feel like almost like coming back home. You know, turning around just to make sure that I get that said. But you just never know. I mean, I've had so many close calls. I told you I was on the back of a friend of mine's bike up in Denver one time, and a car pulled out of an intersection. We were doing 45-50, and it just came right through a red light, and we hit him broadside. And I remember, what I remember about it is I remember my buddy starting to lock up his bike, and his bike kind of turned at a little bit of an angle, and I remember him and the bike getting pinned into the car, and I went right over my buddy's back, glanced off the windshield into a telephone pole. No fun. But that happened in a blink of an eye. Reminds me of 1 Corinthians 15:51. Lo, I shall tell you a mystery. I digress. But you just never know. I mean, so if you guys had close calls, I mean, I know if you've ridden for any length of time, you've had some close calls. Not just with animals, but with the two-legged beasts and the four-wheel vehicles also. You know, the ones that don't see you most of the time. I see somebody up there on another cyclomotor, but I can't get in that lane because somebody's coming by. X. But I can now. So, tell me about it in the comments. I got him now. You know, I'm really interested in the animals that you've come across while you're riding. How you doing, bro?
How you doing?
Okay. You'll be on YouTube sometime in a day or two. There you go. I was just talking about wearing leathers or protective stuff when it gets this hot. Almost didn't wear them today. Anyway, I digress again. I digress a lot, if you've noticed that. I also say it like I'm some kind of Italian. If you've had any close calls, especially I want to know about deer. Where I live, in the state I live in, there are deer everywhere. I think there's more deer than people. In fact, I know that there's between 850,000 and a million deer in the state. And I know that because I do volunteer work for the Department of Conservation. And I've had numerous close calls with the deer. So I know you guys that live in the agricultural areas must just be going out of your mind with how many deer you've got to contend with. Now there's a video on YouTube, I don't know if you've seen it or not, where that guy hits a deer at 85 miles an hour. And doesn't even go down. How cool is that? I mean, he goes back and looks at the deer. He's riding with a bunch of guys. They go back. That deer just is a mess on the side of the road. and it broke off some of the guy's fairing and stuff, but the guy didn't go down. I'm telling you, the Lord was riding as his co-pilot that day. Stuff like that just does not happen. So let me know. Let me know if you've had close calls with deer. I'm kind of curious. Like I said, I've had my share. Never hit. Well, I've run over one with my truck. When I used to have a old Ford, an 81 Ford F-150 with a 6-inch lift kit on it and 38-inch mudders. I ran over a deer running in front of me one time, and I ran over him. I think he hit his head on the bottom of my bumper. Didn't even hardly notice it. Well, this has been a fun ride. I hope the audio is a little bit better. I know it's windy as all get out, so I don't expect it to be real good, but I hope it's there. I didn't get the speed I usually need, but I'll have to get it sometime soon. Well, this bike, I mean, it's really, for its age, is a really fast bike. This XJ650 Maxim, it's an 82. When you get on the highway with it, though, let me see, when you're doing 55, you're pulling 5,000 RPMs. That's a lot of RPMs for 55 miles an hour. This thing doesn't redline till, what's that say, 9,500 RPM to 12,000 is the red line on it. So it's a high rever, but I would feel much more comfortable on the highway. Like on my brother's Harley, I think I'm doing at 65, I got to be doing under 3,000 RPM. Makes a big difference in how comfortable the ride is. Okay, folks. There's a guy not wearing a helmet in a state that requires a helmet. He's riding one of them little motorcycles, scooters that is supposedly 49cc. It doesn't need a license. But you're a fool if you don't have a helmet on that thing. See you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.